Hello, Jutta. Hi.
Hello, Cornel.
Hi. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you.
All this COVID-19 situation finished also in Barcelona, where you are now?
It is, yes, almost, yes, almost. Now from the 21st we can fly again.
Aha.
In Europe.
In Europe, yeah. And what did you feel during this period, during these few months of isolation and this COVID everywhere?
The first month was good from end of March when I came here to Spain until April. I felt, wow, great, like a big relaxation and a lot of practicing. But then I felt a little bit lonesome and isolated.
Yeah.
And that was the time when I started to do the Zoom online, that I didn't feel so lonely.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. So please tell me a few words about yourself, because I know you for long years, but a lot of people watching us meet you for the first time. So please tell me a few words about yourself and about your meeting with these Taoist practices.
All right. Okay. I was probably always interested in some kind of spiritual practice, but I didn't really know what it was. So I was looking actually in the religion at the beginning. And then I tried different things, but they were not really very fulfilling. And then one day I found a book of Master Chia and I read it about the microcosmic orbit. And then I thought, oh, this is interesting. I tried. So I did it. I focused on the orbit. And after some time I succeeded. And that led me then, like about 1.5 or 2 years later, to see him for the first time. I met him in Munich. And it was also 2 days, like the basic with the microcosmic orbit. And in his presence, I felt my microcosmic orbit so much stronger that when I was practicing alone and I always look at him and he didn't even look at me. And I thought, this is so interesting. And I want to learn that.
Yeah.
That's it. And here I am.
Yeah, you talked about the microcosmic orbit, and are there any important practices in this universal healing Tao system of Master Mantak Chia? What do you think? What are the most important practices?
I mean, I think the core practice is actually the inner smile and the 6 healing sounds, because practicing this kind of meditative practices, they keep us in this life, so we can advance in the middle of all this, whatever we have now, the COVID and everything, but we can still advance in our practice. And these are the meditative part, because we learn to transform our emotions. So there are different ways of practicing. You can also go into a temple or in an ashram. Then you are isolated from the world, and you're probably not, you're more dealing only with your own emotions. But through the 6 healing sounds, we can also live in this world, and practice and advance. So I really like that. I really like this, because the Tao is basically for everybody. You don't need to be isolated in order to practice. And then the microcosmic orbit is, because it's connected with all our energy centers, or like in the Indian system, they say chakras. So you balance all these energy centers. So it's like a healing for yourself, but it's also, because the microcosmic is not inside, not only, also outside. So it's also a spiritual practice. So it's the beginning of a big transformation.
Yeah. And please tell me a few words about what was the changes in your life that these practices caused. What happened after going into the practices deeper and deeper, what changes happened in your life?
First of all, I would say I had more self-esteem that I was missing through my bringing up. I didn't have this, I missed that, you know.
Yeah.
And so I developed more self-esteem and more happiness within me, and being less dependent on the outside, on the family and all that, you know. Yeah. That was the beginning. Then also healing. Now when I come to the female healing, there I had also big issues there, so I could heal all that with Chi. And that was also a very big breakthrough for me. And understanding that actually everything is based on Chi. We say we have a condition. Yeah, I have menstrual problems. I cannot get pregnant, all these things. But it's all a condition because we have not enough Chi or blocked energy there, you see. So when we become aware of that, we can heal ourselves. Yeah. And that was also another very important healing for me. Yes.
Yes.
And of course, in all those years that I do that, of course, the advancement into the higher level of practices, that is also very nourishing, and become companion of the universe. So it's a very nourishing and a very fulfilling practice, I would say. Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you are teaching these self-healing practices since ages, and we are so happy that we can welcome you to Budapest this year's August, at the end of August. You will have a retreat for 1 day for both men and women, and after that 2 days for ladies only for these female practices. Please tell me a few words about this weekend, this seminar in Budapest that you will take.
Yeah, I like women. I like very much, of course, because I'm a woman, and I like very much to teach women. As I said, the whole TAO practice is an esoteric practice, and this cultivation of the female sexual energy, or same like men, it's actually an esoteric practice. It's not like, you know, you get it, you do it once, and I do it, and I'm done. You know, I know how to do it. It's not like that. You know, like it really needs dedication and practice, but it's very rewarding. And so one of the important exercises for women is the egg exercise, of course, to create more circulation in this part. It's very important because we want to guide energy, and when we cannot feel anything, there's difficult to guide when there's no feeling, no? So that is a very important, and also the ovarian breathing is the basic of everything.
Yeah.
Women, connecting to their own sexuality is for many women is not so easy as for men, because for men everything is outside, so they only need to touch themselves, so they have feeling, but we don't feel anything.
Yeah.
So we always think it's the man has to do that, but really, I think when you work seriously with yourself, I think no man has so much time to do that for us.
Yeah.
They can help us, but I think you really need to work yourself. You know, you need to do it yourself, and then you can exchange, and then you can also work together. Yeah. And this is what I also like about the TAO, that we learn these techniques for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course. Yes. Yeah. And I always tell my students that the biggest part of my students are female, of course, 90% also here in Hungary. And I always tell them that I think you as a lady will be a much more authentic teacher for these practices. You can teach advanced level practices rather than a man for ladies. Yeah. And we will see it in August.
Yeah, it is also you see, like, when a woman hears about the egg exercise, then of course there are many ideas going into the brain, like maybe, I can attract a man, or whatever, we have all these fancy ideas, but actually it's a spiritual practice, it's an esoteric practice, because when a woman is really interested in the spiritual path, and she goes into the fusion of the 5 elements and the Kan Li practices, without the very good chi muscle, it won't work. You cannot draw that energy to you. I mean, this force you cannot draw in. So you really need to do a lot of practice. Yes.
Yeah, and of course you need the basic practices before.
It's the essential practices. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And for what kind of ladies do you offer this seminar? What kind of problems can it help, or what type of solutions can it offer?
I think for every woman who is interested in it, it's the right practice, and there's no age limit. Basically, if maybe for a teenager, like, I would say, like, a woman should have at least had a sexual connection before she starts to work with the egg.
Yeah.
But apart from that, there is no age limit, not too young and not too old. It's always good to do, because our lower gate, the perineum, this is like, we call it the life and death point, like the huyin. And when this is not trained, we inevitably constantly lose our life force unknowingly. And later on, the uterus sags down and causes a lot of problems.
Yeah. Okay, so nothing needed to go this workshop, no before practices or no.
It's basic. Yeah, it's a basic. Yeah.
Okay.
And also for men, yeah.
Yeah, the first day also for men. Okay, Jutta, then thank you for having you here in this video interview, and we are very looking forward to see you in Budapest in August.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm looking forward too. Thank you very much, Cornel.
Take care.
You.
Bye.
Bye.